Welcome to TradeTheNBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 8th of April, and I wish I could report something new and different, but DOC says it all, along with this rising shakeout. Still in the upcycle. Just a little bit of a fade from short-term buyers. At the same time, we got a little spike of cyan, indicating that shorts are there, but there's still it's in negative territory from a zero level of the DOC, so you're not really expecting anything dramatic. This is where, looking at just the ABM values becomes about the most relevant thing you can do. But once we knew we were up in this 2880 range, that the push towards 29 was going to be stronger than back pull. Sometimes they fight it back and forth in between, but we happen to be right at the time of new fund inflows, and so the expectation was there'd be plenty of new money to help elevate things. Likewise, NASDAQ, it's just a clean, pretty straightforward from that standpoint. The basing of Euro right from that bottom low, not bad. We've got the rising, the green here, falling cyan. A little bit more, we might actually get a crossover of green over cyan. That would actually be the best possible outcome for a boost, or moving right above that 23%. Might see a little bit more move inside there. Of course, it's always been speculative to some of the Brit exit crisis going back and forth. But if the market's doing this well with a very, very weakened euro, if the euro starts to strengthen, that's only going to bolster the market even more. So it's worth paying attention to, because that would really cause a dramatic press forward. And so from a gold standpoint, that's not giving it much excitement, because it just means that we're kind of in this lull of, okay, is there going to be significant enough growth? There was a rebound in the numbers. That was some positive aspect, but that doesn't still suggest that wages are rising at a significant rate to spark inflation. So in this case, Trump is correct when he complains about the rise in rates, but that's because they pretty much just put the brakes on the economy like instantly before it even started to get going. And I understand the argument is okay, if it gets started, we won't be able to control it, so let's prevent it from starting. But the problem with that is you're talking about people's lives and their economic success. So not letting it get started just puts more people in a negative situation, which I don't know that they really take that into account, because they really don't care about that as much as the numbers. Speaking of numbers, we go back to the 5K chart. It was just all green all day. It was pretty straightforward climb all the way up. We had a couple of weak signals that came through. They just didn't produce a whole lot, and then gave new setups. I mean, it really wasn't, this was one return to the 50%, and that was it for the whole day. And that was after a successive series of climbs. So, keeping a modest stop at the previous lows and just kind of waiting it out, you really wouldn't be doing anything but just sitting around. So from that standpoint, kind of boring, but at the end of the day, right in line with our expectations. So a little bit of backfill, but a couple of positive extremes going through there. And there was even a couple from the beginning of this, right back in here. Of course, they were already tested in that from this previous spot, so I wouldn't really count on them being too much. It's just we have 2880, so I think any breakdown of the low from here before at 2889 is going to definitely bring back down to that point. So that's what we'll be looking at. Pretty light, straightforward video today, so nothing. I could put up the 50K chart since we really haven't spent that much time. We know it had the brief sell there, it went in sort of an in-between, and then turned green again with the pink 2, simply because we dipped below the red line with the cyan. Always buy configuration. And it's sort of in an in-between spot right now as we're kind of resetting. So this is kind of interesting, because a turnaround now here of shakeout at the highs, and you definitely know you're going to be breaking past. So that's going to be pretty clear. As always, trade well. I will put up anything special in the Skype chat. Have a good one.